next section in quantitative methods is simple interest. We're going to take a look at the basics, how interest works, what it is, why we do it. Simple interest, it's basically we're going to make money when we loan money out. If you're going to borrow money, you have to pay extra to pay that back. If you're loaning money, the reason why you want to loan money is to make money for it. So earnings when money is loaned out, expenses when money is borrowed. So if I'm giving money out, I'm going to make money. If I'm borrowing money, I have to pay. And it's the economic reason for creating credit. It's the reason why people are willing to make loans. So what we're looking at simple interest is a short-term loan, generally less than 1 year. So the concepts we're going to look at, first of all, some language. We have a principal. A principal is the amount of money that is borrowed or loaned. It's the cash amount. If I need $300 to buy a product, it's the $300 that I borrow. The interest amount is the amount of money earned on the loan. If I'm borrowing $300 and I agree to pay you $20 in interest, the $20 would be the cash amount. And the interest rate is that amount compared to the principal. So it's the rate where the interest amount is the portion and the principal is the base. So we have an interest rate is basically the amount divided by the principal gives us a rate for it. So our formula says the amount of interest earned is equal to the amount of money that's borrowed times the interest rate, times the rate of interest, how much money we're going to make per year, times the time period, the number of years. Okay? So interest earned, I, is the principal, capital P, times the annual rate of simple interest, times the time period, the portion of a year. Because generally it's going to be less than a year, so this will be at most 1, but it's number of years. So if it's half a year, it's 0.5. If it's a quarter of a year, it's 0.25. So getting right into some problems. What amount of interest is earned on $5,000 lent for 5 months at a simple rate of interest of 9%? So what we're going to do, first of all, we do the extraction of data. So interest earned on $5,000. So our principal is $5,000. We borrowed $5,000. 5 months, our time is going to be 5 months. So 5 months, what portion of a year is 5 months? Well, it's 5 months over a full year, which is 12 months. We calculate it here, but I'll leave it as a fraction. And the simple rate of interest, our rate is 9%, 0.09. Oops. So, calculate the amount of interest. I, the interest amount, is PRT. So, the interest amount is $5,000 times 0.09 times 5 over 12. So the rate of interest, or the interest amount, is $5,000 times 0.09 times 5 divided by 12, $187.50. Okay? So what amount of interest earned? The interest earned is $187.50. A second question. Interest of $429.48 was charged on a loan of $9,500 over 7 months. What simple annual rate of interest was charged? Well, do that formula again. First, we'll extract the data. Interest, this is an interest amount. $429.48. We have a loan, a principal of $9,500. This is the amount before the interest. So principal is $9,500. The duration, 7 months. So our time is 7/12 of a year. 7 months compared to 12 months in a year. Again, we have our formula. I is equal to PRT. In this case, we're solving for R because we want to know the rate. So I divide both sides by PT. I can cancel the P's out, cancel the T's out. And what we get is the rate is equal to the amount of interest divided by PT. Okay. So this is equal to $429.48 compared to $9,500 for 7/12. And we got R is equal to 0.0775, which is equal to 7.75%. Big thing here to watch is, when you're doing this calculation, there's a divide inside of the divide. And what you're going to make sure you're going to do is $429.48 divided by, and you put brackets here, 9,500 times 7 divided by 12. So on the calculator, you're going to put in 429.48 divided by parenthesis 9,500 times 7 divided by 12 parenthesis equals. You're going to make sure that everything in the bottom is in parentheses, otherwise the calculation is going to come up. Third question, what simple rate of interest charged on an outstanding invoice of 2% per month? Simple interest rate charged on an outstanding invoice of 2% per month. What amount of interest is charged, so what amount we're looking for on $5,000 invoice that is 3 months late. Well, in this case, we'll take a look at this a little different. I'm going to solve this 2 ways. First of all, I have a principal, which is the total amount charged, or total amount that we're calculating interest on, $5,000. I'm going to say my rate of interest is 0.02 per month. And then our time for that is going to be 3 months. Because we're now not using years, it still works out as long as the interest rate and the time are both in the same units. So we get interest amount is equal to PRT, which is equal to 5,000 times 0.02 times 3, and we have an interest amount of 5,000 times 0.02 times 3, $300. But we said before that T is a portion of a year. So if I'm not going to do it in months, I want to be really consistent about doing things in years. I just have to make sure the rate and the time work properly. So again, my principal is going to be $5,000 because that amount of money is still the amount of money that I've borrowed. The rate now is going to be 2% per month, but there's 12 months in a year. So 2% per month times 12, this is going to be 24% per annum per year. And then our T is going to be 3/12 of a year. 3 months compared to 12 months in a year. So our interest amount then is equal to, again, PRT. So that's going to be 5,000 times 0.24 now, because this is going to be our annual rate. And our annual amount of time, 3/12 of a year. So it's 5,000 times 0.24 times 3 divided by 12. Again, the interest amount is 300. So the important thing about this formula is not that we're going to use years or we're going to use months, but we have to make sure that if our rate is in months, our time is in months, and if we're going to use our time in years, that our rate is in years. So those are the basics of simple interest. Short-term loans, less than a year, simple interest, means we're just calculating interest, all in one lump sum, calculating an amount from a rate and a time, make sure the rates work. Some more work, we'll see you in class.